About Chris Kyle's life, we know, and lots of people have been live tweeting throughout.
Yeah, they have, and they're also making mention of Chad Littlefield, who was also killed. And today, Joey, happens to be his 38th birthday, and his mother had to take the stand. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, but we want to listen right now as CNN's Martin Savage recaps why this case is getting so much attention.
At the movie theater outside Stephenville, Texas, just like anywhere else, you can catch the film American Sniper, the hit movie that focuses on Navy SEAL Chris Kyle. But unlike anywhere else, in the center of town at the courthouse, the focus will be not on how Kyle lived, but how he died. As many as 800 jury notices went out, yet despite that number and the obvious notoriety of the case, jury selection ended a day early. 10 women, 2 men, all white, and 2 alternates. Each one of them had to fill out a 4-page questionnaire asking such things as where they work, if they know the accused, Eddie Routh, or the 2 victims, Kyle and Chad Littlefield, the other man murdered with him. They are also asked about military service. And question number 14, have you read the book, listened to the audiobook, or seen the movie American Sniper? Answering yes did not get you disqualified, but the very question shows how the blockbuster movie has complicated the case. But in the courtroom, the characters are real, and all eyes will be on defendant 27-year-old former Marine Eddie Ray Routh, who, like Kyle, also served in Iraq. Routh allegedly confessed to carrying out the killings to his sister.
Listen, my brother just came by here. He told me that he's committed a murder.
Who did he say he had killed?
He said that he killed 2 guys. They went out to a shooting range, and he's all crazy. He's psychotic.
But Routh later entered a plea of not guilty. His attorneys plan to argue his military service forms the crux of his defense. Innocent by reason of insanity due to post-traumatic stress. Author Laura Beal wrote about Routh's struggles after leaving the military.
His final downfall mentally happened very quickly.
Expect both sides to produce plenty of medical documents and call lots of medical experts. A single camera will be allowed to video the proceedings, shooting through a window. But in an unusual move, the judge has ordered after opening statements, there will be no audio from the courtroom.
You have a green light.
Which is unfortunate, since the trial will very much have movie-like drama.
So I want to bring in criminal defense attorney and former federal prosecutor Tanya Miller. So listen to this tweet, Tanya. Somebody said, how can Eddie Ray Routh get even a chance at a fair trial? Again, Hollywood sits heavy on the justice scales. Have you ever seen a situation where there is a movie really of this magnitude, it's Oscar nominated, at the same time that the trial is going on?
I mean, and it's extremely popular. I have never seen anything like this go on. I think it's a fair question. Honestly, it's incumbent upon the judge, as it is incumbent upon the judge in every case that's high profile, that has a lot of extra courtroom influence on it, to just try to impose on these jurors the importance of focusing on the evidence in this case, separating what's fictionally, well, based on truth, but is portrayed in the movie, and everything else that they're going to hear. I mean, juries are able to do it. It's just a question of will they.
Yeah.
And Tanya, thanks so much for joining us. And, you know, critical in this case, of course, is the insanity defense. And, of course, the defense has the burden by a preponderance of the evidence. Is it more likely than not that he's insane?
Right.
How does the defense, Tanya, get the jury to buy their claims?
Well, of course, they're going to have to focus on his very bizarre behavior. We have him doing all kinds of quirky stuff. People will talk about him, you know, walking down the street naked, talking gibberish. The fact that he showed up at his sister's house after the killing and it sort of admitted that he committed this murder without any kind of implication that he thought what he did was wrong. We'll have to flesh that out a little bit, but they're going to have to focus on all of his conduct that they can demonstrate from independent witnesses. They're going to have to focus on the fact that he has a documented history of mental illness. He's been diagnosed with various forms of mental illness since he has returned from overseas. They're going to focus on the trauma that he experienced overseas and try to make the case that, you know, this is a good soldier gone bad because he didn't get the help that he needed. needed. And there's no reason in the world any normal person would want to kill Chris Kyle and the other gentleman in this way at the shooting range when they were trying to help him if he were not crazy. So those are the kinds of things I think you're going to see the defense play up in this case. It'll be interesting.
Without a doubt.
Rate the prosecution's opening today. What did you think?
I think it was solid. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it an 8. I think he did what he had to do. You know, he crossed the line a little bit in arguing, but you expect to see that in a high-profile case. They're going to walk right up to the line if they can. I think he laid out the facts that support the idea that this defendant is not insane, telling the jury to focus on his conduct before, during, and after, focusing in on what the issues are. So I think it was a solid. I think it was good. I give him an 8.
Okay.
Not the best, but solid.
Tanya, thank you. Always appreciate your insight there.
Sure.
An 8. All right, so who's responsible for the murders of Chris Kyle and